And welcome to the Box Score. Terry Collins along with Stacey Angel, and we're right in the midst, Stacey, of district play and a lot of great games.
Get through a little snow. We'll keep our fingers crossed that there's no more and we can really get some basketball going.
Well, Stacey, the snow possum predicted there would be no games last week, and boy, was he right. So let's go ahead and look at our featured game, the Smith County girls in Cannon County, and Smith County girls coming out with a 57-49 victory. The ball game, Stacey, was tied at 43-all with 4 minutes left. Anna Vining hits a big three for the Lady Owls, and then Smith County in the second half, Stacey, hits 80% of their shots, 12 out of 15 from the floor to win it by a final score of 57-49. Vining and Marissa Spivey leading the way with 13 each. Anderson Holt with 12 for the Lionettes. Very good win for Smith County on the road. As you said, I think two teams that are very comparable, and Smith County was able to pull that out with some good shooting in the second half. Let's go ahead and look at the Smith County, Cannon County boys. The Owls win it 50-47 in overtime. Gus Davenport held to 16 points, did shoot the ball well, but Smith County's defense did a great job on him. He did have a three there to put the game in overtime, into a second overtime, but it rimmed out as the Owls win. But Dennis West, another solid performance, Stacey, 24 points, hit a couple of three-pointers, 6 of 6 from the foul line. Bryce Curry, a good night before fouling out with 8 points. But the big thing there is Smith County in the overtime period held Cannon County to only 1 point. Absolutely, a great defensive effort. Can't say enough about Dennis West, though. We've talked about him all year being a leader for the Owl team. He came up big for them, and that's another huge win on the road for Smith County. Let's go ahead and look at the District 7A Sonic of Carthage scores. Of course, got a lot of postponements from Friday. We did get one game in there on Sunday afternoon, and that was Gordonsville, a big win over Jackson County, 60-31. Jake Dillard's squad, a couple of impressive wins over Jackson and Macon this week. Well, an offensive explosion. His team has been struggling a little bit. I'm sure he's hoping to get the tables turned there, but a good win against Jackson County. Let's go ahead and look at some more scores. Of course, you see the Gordonsville win over Macon County, 61-36. And then on Tuesday night, Pickett County, a big win over Clark Range. And then Clay County, a win over Red Bowling. Red Bowling, a team that has just really hung around. We talked about them some, and that game probably closer maybe than I thought it would be, but still wind up on the losing end. Pickett won the first match against Clark Range. Of course, that was in Byrdstown. Let's go ahead and look at the girls' standings. Pickett County sitting there at 3-0, 14-3 overall. Clark Range 2-1, Clay County 2-1. Red Bowling 1-3. Of course, their win came over Gordonsville. Stacey kind of shaking out like we thought it would. Absolutely, and I think Pickett and Clay will have a game this next week, and that could be for where we stand at first place in the first half of this district. Let's go ahead and look at some Sonic of Carthage scores from last week. Of course, we had Friday night's game postponed because of 7-8 inches of snow, and then on Sunday afternoon, Gordonsville and Jackson County got together. Jackson County got to watch them last night against Monterey. Kevin Thomas has got a squad, Stacey, that can challenge, no doubt. Of course, they've got York coming up later this week. Should be a great ball game. I think that game's in Gainesboro, but Jackson County gets the win over Gordonsville 68-56. Right, I think DTC, maybe subscribers don't see Jackson County a lot, but a really good basketball team. Kevin Thomas, really good coach. Let's go ahead and look at some other scores. Gordonsville, a big win over Macon County after getting down 10 there. After the first quarter, Gordonsville comes back. Gordonsville's had a little adversity. They've had 3 kids that have left the team, but Greg Bibbs seems like, has kind of dusted off the boots and got them playing pretty well. That's a good win, but I give Macon a lot of credit too. We saw a lot of their scores early in the season where they weren't competitive, and now we're seeing that they've won some close games and they're playing even the games they lose close. So a lot of credit there. Look at Pickett County, a win over Clark Range. Clay County, a big win over Red Bowling Springs on the boys' side. Thanks to Sonic of Carthage for sponsoring that. Let's go ahead and look at some standings. Pickett County and Clay County, they're destined, I think, maybe the early part of next week or the end of this week, they're ready to play. Both of them sitting there at 3-0. Gordonsville sitting there at 2-1. Like we said, can Gordonsville get Pickett or Clay? That remains to be seen. They seem to be on a different level, Stacey.
In my opinion, I think they are, but you look at a Gordonsville team, Coach Bibb is a good basketball coach, and they've had some adversity and had to go through some things, but you look at them, they're sitting there at 12-6, 2-1 overall, so good shape at this point in the district.
Stacey, when you look at this district, I don't think there's much secret in the fact that Pickett and Clay County went to the state tournament a year ago. Clay County won it. Pickett County got to the Final Four. I think they're going to be disappointed, or at least their fan bases are, if they don't make it back to Murfreesboro.
Right, and each of those teams has dynamic players. Of course, Grant Strong, who is a Tennessee Tech signee, having another outstanding year. But like you say, both those teams' expectation is Murfreesboro or bust.
Tell you what, if you hadn't got a chance to see Grant Strong play, it's a treat. And you don't have players come along that often. It seems like Clay County has. As of late, when you look at Tyreek Key here a few years back, he went on to play at Indiana State, just a phenomenal talent, and they've had some come down the pike through the years. And when you look at the job that Rob Edwards does with Clay County, he's an outstanding coach.
In my opinion, one of the more underrated coaches in the entire state of Tennessee. Does an outstanding job. I ride through Salina and I wonder, where do these great athletes keep coming from? But they are, and Grant Strong definitely one of those.
And when you look, they've got a lot of complementary pieces to the puzzle. You saw that last year, Stacey, in their state tournament run.
They play well, but I think that's a product of Coach Edwards again. He encourages his teams to play so hard on the defensive end. They're able to mix things up, give you a lot of looks. They play great team basketball, even with an outstanding athlete.
As we'll have more, we'll talk about the District 6AA and 7 AAA scoreboards and standings when we return. As we remind you, you're watching The Box Score.
What is UC-EMC Strong? It's local people. It's local power. Delivering safe, reliable electricity to homes and businesses in the Upper Cumberland is our mission. Getting you back in the game with no time out is our goal. It's been a tough season. Our community has met many challenges, but we're emerging stronger than ever because we're on your team. Upper Cumberland Electric Membership Corporation. We're in this together.
How do you know you're in a community, not just a town? Well, strangers smile as they walk by. They refill your coffee without you asking. And when you ask directions, people offer to walk you there. Communities give more. The way you know when you walk into First Bank that you are in a real community bank. Great products, direct access to your local bankers, and relationships that can last a lifetime. Don't just have an account. Have a community with First Bank. Member FDIC.
Nearstar Middle Tennessee Mines in Gordonsville is hiring. We have open positions for maintenance technicians, maintenance trainer, electricians, entry-level miners, mill operators, mill technicians, infill drillers, and other amazing opportunities. We offer competitive wages, excellent benefits, PTO, holiday pay, exceptional 401k, and much more. Make the most of your future and your career. Join the excellent team at Nearstar Middle Tennessee Mines in Gordonsville.
Liberty State Bank's debit MasterCards are now available with the names and mascots of our local schools printed right on the front of your card. With every non-PIN transaction, Liberty State Bank will donate 5 cents to the school system on your card. It's easy to show your school spirit and raise some extra money for your school at the same time. Show your school pride. Liberty State Bank, a branch of Citizens Bank of Lafayette. Equal housing lender, member FDIC.
Neighbors help each other. It's how community works. And it's how we do business at DTC. You can count on us for internet, TV, and phone, backed by local support.
Get more from your internet. Get a $50 bill credit when you add or upgrade your internet service with us. This is a limited time offer, so don't delay.
DTC. We're working hard to be a good neighbor.
And welcome back to The Box Score. Terry Collins along with my good friend Stacey Angel. And Stacey, we're really getting into the meat of the district schedule, and you take last night in Sparta. Livingston goes there and gets the win. Of course, I know Sparta or White County had a player to get hurt, but you're looking at the number 3 and number 6 teams in all the state of Tennessee classifications, and just tells you about the quality of basketball in the Upper Cumberland.
Absolutely, and then you throw Upperman in there also, who's ranked in the top 10. Just really an outstanding basketball district. It's going to be fun to see how things shake out this next month.
Let's go ahead and look at the Sonic of Carthage scoreboard. Of course, we had a lot of games postponed last week due to snow. Monterey and Smith County is supposed to play on Thursday night. They're playing again on Saturday afternoon at 2. Then you had Smith and Cannon, who made up last Monday night. We didn't get to see the Georgia-Alabama game, except maybe the fourth quarter, but still, they're trying to squeeze these makeups in. Watertown at Westmoreland, a big district game to start for both of those squads, unable to do so. So Westmoreland will be coming to Smith County, as we see a little bit later in the upcoming games on Friday night. Westmoreland, a big win over Charleston County girls. Smith County with an outstanding shooting performance in the second half. They beat Cannon County and Woodbury. Stacey, a lot of people feels like that could be for second place in the district.
Right, that was a big win. Of course, as you mentioned, Smith County and Westmoreland play on the coming Friday, and that will be a big test for Smith County to see where they stand. We feel like Westmoreland's played a very tough non-district schedule, and we feel like they're the team to beat in 6AA.
Cannon County rebounds from a loss on Monday night and gets the win at home over Sequatchie County on Tuesday night. And then DeKalb County, Katie Farrell getting more back to herself after she suffered the ankle injury against Smith County in the game at Smithville. DeKalb County wins at 60-41 over Watertown.
Good win for Coach Fish and his squad over Watertown, and what's kind of become a rivalry over the previous years.
Let's go ahead and look at the standings for the District 6AA. Of course, Smith County with their win at Woodbury sitting on top. Westmoreland sitting there, hadn't played a district game yet, but we feel like that Westmoreland is the cream of the crop here, and that's not to say we're crowning them champions, Stacey, but still their athletic ability and how hard they play on defense and just locking people down. I mean, earlier this year, they held Jackson County to 10 points in the entire game.
They have so much quickness, so much athleticism, and they play very, very hard, and it'll be interesting to see, Smith County in particular, how they can handle the pressure that Westmoreland can put on you in the half court.
After Westmoreland, though, I think the other 3 teams of Smith County, Watertown, and Cannon County, there's not a lot of difference. And you see Watertown, improve and get their scoring going. And, in Cannon, under, both with first-year head coaches at Watertown and Cannon County, I feel like both these teams' best basketball is yet to come.
Yeah, we felt like both those squads are going to improve. Good coaching staffs, good positivity coming out of those programs, so we'll see how that goes.
Let's go ahead and look at some Sonic of Carthage scores from the boys' side. Of course, we talked about earlier, Monterey and Smith County got postponed because of snow, and then Friday night, Smith and Cannon, Watertown and Westmoreland postponed. Of course, we do have makeup dates now. And looking further at the scoreboard, as we've got Westmoreland, that's a huge win for the Eagles, going to Hartsville and winning 59-57. Westmoreland under Corey Fitzpatrick, Macon County alumnus, goes to Hartsville and gets the 2-point win to get to 3-10.
That's a good win. We talked earlier that we thought Ryan Sleeper's team would improve after Christmas for football players, but that's a good win there for Westmoreland on the road.
Smith County, of course, has to survive 50-47 behind Dennis West, 24 points. He's the lone senior on the Owls team. A big road win in the district for them. And then on Tuesday night, Cannon County bounces back, gets a big win over region foe Sequatchie County, a team that they could see, Stacey, later in the region tournament and win that one by 23. And then DeKalb County over an improving Watertown squad last night, 64-57.
Right, when they met earlier in the season, DeKalb kind of had their way with Watertown last night, just a 7-point affair. Watertown continues to improve.
Of course, Matt Bradshaw, the head coach there. Let's go ahead and look at the boys' standings for District 6AA. Of course, Smith County with their win, overtime win in Woodbury. They improved to 12-4. Watertown and Westmoreland both hadn't played a district game. They got snowed out. Then Cannon County there at 8-10. But it's no shoe-in that Smith County is going to run through this district. I think, you'll see some close scores for whoever wins it.
I feel the same, Terry, and I feel like there will be some upsets as we go along. I know there are not many district games, but I feel like there will be some where the lower considered team wins the game.
Stacey, when you look in only 6 district games, we talked about this earlier, each district game, that makes it like a time and a half or double the worth of what maybe a year ago when you look and you had 14 district games and only having 6 now.
There's no doubt, and especially when you give up one at home. So I know that Coach Knowles and his Cannon County squad, they feel like now they've got to steal one somewhere because they lost that game at home.
Let's go ahead and look at the girls scoreboard. Sonic of Carthage sponsoring that for us, making it DeKalb was postponed, Upperman at Stone postponed, White County at Cookeville postponed. Of course, Cookeville girls, last time I checked, was still undefeated. Cumberland County at Livingston, all of that postponed because of snow. Other scores to look at, Gordonsville, a big win over Macon County on Monday night. Larry White's team's kind of been up and down. I know he's playing a lot of freshmen, starting 5 freshmen the last time I checked. But Gordonsville seems like offensively that they're finding their groove, Stacey.
2 games back-to-back should give them a little confidence as they try to go back into district play.
Let's go ahead and look at the standings. Livingston, a big win over White County by 7 in Sparta. They get to 15-2, 3-0 in that district. White County, a big win over Upperman at 3-1. Upperman 2-1, Cumberland County 2-1, Stone Memorial 2-2. You look at DeKalb sitting there at 10-7 overall. They're 0-3 in the district, but I'm telling you, Stacey, when you see the gauntlet that they have to go through, Danny Fish's squad, just trying to squeeze in that top 4 slots to make it to the region.
Yeah, it's going to be tough for them when you look at just the quality that's ahead of them. I don't feel like that there'll be any team that'll go undefeated. I know that Livingston's sitting there at 3-0, but I feel like it's tough sledding in 7 AAA. A lot of basketball to be played. You
look at 12 district games, Stacey, and there's no breathers.
No, and the coaches know that, but each of them they're just trying to get their team ready. They know they want to make that region tournament and try to move on.
You look at Macon County, only a 2-point loss to Stone Memorial. Just shows you when you've got a younger club, sometimes, Stacey, they have inconsistent play. You saw that against Gordonsville, but then a night later, you see them go on the road and play well in Crossville.
Well, Coach White, just he's been around a year or two, Terry, and he understands how to help make teams better, and his team will continue to improve.
Let's go ahead and look at some boys scores from District 7 AAA. Sonic of Carthage sponsoring that. Macon DeKalb, Upperman Stone, White County Cookeville, Cumberland County Livingston. All postponed because of the inclement weather. Other scores from Monday night, Gordonsville comes back at home and wins over the Macon County Tigers 59-54. And then looking at last night's scores, DeKalb a win 64-57 over Watertown. Stone at home, a big win over Macon by 30, 88-58. White County over Livingston 71-52. And in a close one, Cumberland County win over Upperman 58-56. And Stacey, Upperman, you rarely see them with an under 500 record, but that's what you're looking at, right?
Right. They have been perennial 8AA right at the top of the league, and this year just been tough. I know they've rebuilt just a little bit, but actually an overall losing record right now for the Bees.
Of course, they do play some tough people. White County and Stone Memorial sitting on top at 3-1. Livingston and Cumberland County there at 2-1. DeKalb and Upperman at 1-2, and then making it 0-4. Of course, that Livingston and DeKalb game went to overtime, and Livingston wins by 2. So, a lot of parity in this district as well.
Seems like this district is as wide open as any that we look at, Terry. When you look really at 7 teams, and maybe not every night, but most nights you feel like even Macon sitting there at 0-4 has a chance to beat one of those teams that's ahead of them.
We'll have more as we will interview DeKalb County Tigers, Lady Tigers head coach Danny Fish when we return to the box score.
What is UC EMC Strong? It's local people. It's local power. Delivering safe, reliable electricity to homes and businesses in the Upper Cumberland is our mission. Getting you back in the game with no time out is our goal. It's been a tough season. Our community has met many challenges, but we're emerging stronger than ever because we're on your team. Upper Cumberland Electric Membership Corporation. We're in this together.
How do you know you're in a community, not just a town? Well, strangers smile as they walk by. They refill your coffee without you asking. And when you ask directions, people offer to walk you there. Communities give more. The way you know when you walk into First Bank that you are in a real community bank. Great products, direct access to your local bankers, and relationships that can last a lifetime. Don't just have an account. Have a community with First Bank. Member FDIC.
And welcome back to the Box Score. We've got DeKalb County head coach Danny Fish. He's also the softball head coach. And Coach Fish, we appreciate you taking time to be with us. You know, everybody's dodging COVID and injuries, and you're right in the middle of district play. And we were speaking off air there, Coach. You got a very, very tough district.
Oh, yes. I believe it's the top 3A district in the state of Tennessee. We got I think we got 3 teams in the top 10, I think top 6 or 7 right there. And, we got a couple other teams that's in the top 25. Night in, night out, it's going to be a slugfest and, dogfight, whatever analogy you want to use. But, you better be prepared every night to bring your best game, because if you don't, you're going to lose. And we're trying to compete, trying to get healthy, trying to become more consistent with our younger players to be able to, live up to that standard.
Coach, this is Stacey Angel. Speaking of injuries, of course, most everyone in DeKalb country knows that Katie Farrell had gone down with an ankle injury, and you alluded she'd missed several games. Tell us a little bit about how you think maybe your team's responded with her absence. We know that she's an outstanding player, does a lot of things for your team.
Well, there at the very beginning when she got hurt, kind of more shell shock, for some of those kids. But in the grand scheme of things, I think it's been really good for us. Kids that wouldn't be getting as many minutes or getting a little bit more minutes. And, it's helped us, work through some of the things that they needed to get better at while they were on the floor. That way they can be, contributing during, the stretch run when she gets back and gets healthy. She's back on the floor now, and, we've been able to rest her, which in the past we really didn't like to pull her off the floor because, at her position she does so much. But, we've had some, really quality people step up off the bench. Derek Collins, a freshman, and, Allie Fuller's a sophomore, Ella Henderson's a sophomore. We got 13 out of our 16 players are underclassmen. So, it's been real good. We've had to take some lumps there, and, we've got beaten, pretty bad a couple of times and lost some games. But, sometimes, people grow at different paces. And, I tell the kids all the time that, grass don't grow during the day, it grows overnight, and sometimes we can't see the growth, but it's still there and it's still happening. And we've really seen how those kids have grown, really, during our Christmas tournament. I think we played a couple of games there before Christmas tournament with Katie out, and then, she came back in limited minutes, and, those kids have really kind of stepped up their game because, they know that they're going in the game now. And I really could see that when we played Livingston at home. Those kids really grown up because, they wouldn't have been able to handle that type of pressure. We lost by 9 in that game. And, we're within 4 points with like 2 minutes and 30-something seconds left. We're down 4. With some of those, backups on the floor, we don't really, consider them backups. We just, kind of consider next man up. They know that I'm going to run them on and run them off, and, they just got to be ready to play every night. So I'm pretty happy with what I've seen. We're not where we need to be. The kids aren't where they want to be, which is good. And hopefully we'll just continue that progression the rest of the year.
Coach, when you look at your team, you have a dynamic sophomore that is wise beyond her years. And Ella Van Branken, outstanding driver, going left, going right. She can shoot the three. She's a good defender. Coach, I made the comment before on our DTC TV broadcast that she's kind of one of those that's got all the tools in the tool chest when it comes to either defense or offense or assisting or whatever she needs to do. And Coach, she's fun to watch.
Yeah, we really like Ella. She's more fun to coach. I know that she's fun to watch, but she's a very lively personality within the locker room. She's a great mix for our kids. I think she's going to be a good player to kind of carry that torch. Every program has to have that guy or that girl. And then teams struggle when they don't have that guy, that they look to in crunch moments that can just kind of go get them a basket. I feel like Ella can go get us a basket when we want to. She's been struggling shooting the ball a little bit here the past couple of games, but she had a really nice floor game last night against Watertown where she had 15. I think she had 8 rebounds and like 4 assists, 4 steals. We was able to get out in transition. She makes her money out there too. And she's a really good player, and she's just a really good athlete, with, placing in the top 10 this year in the state cross-country meet. Last year, we co-ed with track and field with Warren County because we don't have track. She was state finalist in track and field last year. So, Ella's just a great competitor. But as good as she is on the floor, she's even better off the floor with her other teammates. And just an exceptional young lady.
Coach, I know you've been playing a couple of freshmen. You mentioned Derek Collins, and I guess I'm kind of partial to her with that being my first cousin's daughter. But when you look at Avery Agee and, the Agee name through the years as far as coaches and playing there at DeKalb, I know that, she's hit some games that I've been at, hit some big three-point field goals for you. But, Coach, they kind of play not like freshmen. They play beyond their years. I know that, a lot of that has to do with AAU and playing a lot other than during the season, which helps them develop. So when they get into a high school game, they don't freak out.
Yeah, we've had, we are so young, across the board. All these kids got to get their feet wet. I think it helps them, to get on the floor a little bit early, that way they have to work through that. I don't want to mess up stage, because they think, kids generally think they come off the floor because they mess up. That's not generally why I bring kids off the floor, on and off the floor. It might be time for them to rest. Or, they may, need a mental break for a second. But, Dare has been really good. She had probably her best game of the year against Livingston the other night, where she had 11 points and 5 boards, knocked down, and all her points came in the second half too. Kind of closed that lead up for us, and she's been a good contributor. With Dare, we're still working on some things, just like we're still working on some things with Avery. But our underclassmen. We're starting Ella Hendrickson now, which is a sophomore, and she's coming along quite good. And we just have a lot of young players that we're trying to get minutes to, that deserve minutes and that have earned minutes. With that collection of those guys, Katie Farrell and, Ella Van Branken and Madison Martin, you can mix and match those kids, and shouldn't be any matchup issues with, the young guards that we got, and, some of the bigger body freshmen that we got. AAU is huge, getting those kids out there and playing in different environments to kind of lighten that load of, been there, done that. But I don't care. They can play AAU all they want to, but it still never compares to going into White County and playing them, or going to Upperman and playing on that floor against them. It prepares them, but, it can only prepare them so much. They have to kind of go through those ups and downs to kind of learn. And when they do learn, I really believe that those couple kids, man, they're really going to have good careers here at DeKalb.
Coach, as you said, you're in a tough district, tough region all the way up, but we saw a DeKalb team, 2 to 3 years ago where you guys put together a run, made it to the state tournament. So what do you tell your young team as you keep going through the rigors of 7 AAA?
Just focus on the process. People call this regular season. I call it extended preseason. Games matter before the 3rd week in February. All we're trying to do is just, pole positioning of where we start. We'd like to have a better draw, depending on who you play, but in our district, it's anybody on any given night. Whoever plays the best moves on. Whoever doesn't goes home. We've always had the same thought process. In both sports that I coach, what we do is we try to use that regular season as adjustments, to make adjustments to see how we need to play people. That way, when we get to the tournament, we have good scout reports, and then it's just about being, productive and being efficient at what we do. And efficiency is on both sides of the floor too. Some people just equate efficiency to offense, but you have as many defensive possessions as you do offensive possessions in the game, and defense is really something that I lean hard on. And most of the time when we lose, it's because we don't defend well enough, or we don't keep people off the offensive glass well enough. It never comes back to didn't we put the ball in the hole enough. So we're just trying to get as many experiences, whether it be good or bad, throughout the year. Try to build that momentum towards the end of the year. Have our kids playing at a high level by the end of February, middle of February, and hopefully the ball bounces our way when we start to get into tournament play. You talked about that team, a couple years ago with Brown and Caldwell. I think that was Farrell's freshman year, so it was probably like 2018. I believe that's when it was, 2019. That was a real special team, but they were kind of, you guys watched that team because we were in Smith County's district, and you guys been with DTC, but you watched that team they resemble this team a lot. Amy and Caldwell and Brown and all them, they were real young, and I was playing all those kids as sophomores and as freshmen, and they played a lot of minutes, and they played good sometimes, and then screwed up sometimes, but man, they just kept getting better. And I think all of those experiences culminated into them making that run there. We always felt like we were good enough to be there. We just was waiting for our moment, and that moment happened, and it's one of probably the greatest sports moment in DeKalb basketball history, being the only team that's went to the state tournament while we've been 5-on-5. Now, we sent teams to the state tournament in the 60s and the 50s, back to the 20s, when they're 3-on-3 or 6-on-6, whichever one you want to talk about. But that was very special. But this team reminds me a lot of that team, chemistry-wise, things that they're able to do. The thing that, maybe that team had on this one is that they understood the game probably a little bit better, and we're trying to get this team to the same IQ level as that team. So we'll see. I like where we're at. I like where we're headed. Can we get there quick enough? I hope so. The kids are working real hard. They're busting their tails every day to get better, and that's all we can ask.
Well, Coach Fish, we appreciate you visiting with us here on the Box Score, and best of luck to the DeKalb County Lady Tigers.
Yeah, I appreciate you guys. Thank you for the coverage.
We have been interviewing head coach Danny Fish of the DeKalb County Lady Tigers, looking to get his team on a roll, Stacey, like he did a few years ago when they made a run to the state tournament. And I know that he's excited about this squad. He's got a lot of youngsters on it, but a lot of youth and a lot of exuberance.
Well, he feels like they're improving, and he is very excited about the opportunity just to see if they can compete, maybe get back to Murfreesboro.
We'll have an interview with Livingston Academy Lady Wildcats head coach Lesley Smith-Riddle when we return, as we remind you, you're watching the Box Score.
Nearstar Middle Tennessee Mines in Gordonsville is hiring. We have open positions for maintenance technicians, maintenance trainer, electricians, entry-level miners, mill operators, mill technicians, infill drillers, and other amazing opportunities. We offer competitive wages, excellent benefits, PTO, holiday pay, exceptional 401k, and much more. Make the most of your future and your career. Join the excellent team at Near Star Middle Tennessee Mines in Gordonsville.
With Liberty State Bank's Card Cash program, you can earn cash back every time you use your Liberty State Bank debit card. Make your dollars stretch further with Card Cash from Liberty State Bank. Card Cash is absolutely free to sign up for, so stop by Liberty State Bank today for details. Terms and conditions apply. Liberty State Bank, a branch of Citizens Bank of Lafayette. Equal housing lender, member FDIC.
Here's normal internet speed. Here's the gig difference. Average speed, gig. Not enough speed, gig speed. With gig internet from DTC, everything's different. Video streaming is a breeze. Music and photos fly. And gaming gets real with no data limits. That's the gig difference. Call or visit DTC online and get your gig today.
And welcome back to the Box Score. Terry Collins along with Stacey Angel, and we've got Livingston Academy head coach Lesley Smith-Riddle. She's been up there a long time, former player there. After she left there, she went to play at Vanderbilt, and then now she's the head coach for Livingston. And Coach Riddle, appreciate you taking time to be with us. Coach Riddle, first of all, congratulations on a huge win in Sparta last night. Big district win for your Lady Cats squad.
Yeah, thank you. It really was. We knew it wasn't a great matchup for us with them being as long and as physical and as they play, but it really is a good win, especially early in the season, and build a little confidence for these kids. And but yeah, we played really well. Of course, Elena Stiles got injured early in the game and didn't get to come back in the game, so that helped us obviously when one of their top players is out for the rest of the game. But definitely still a good win for us.
Coach, when you look at your team, depth is one thing, I guess, that in the game against Smith County that I noticed, because at times you had 5 fresh players to come in, and I felt like that depth went big in your victory 67-40 over the Lady Owls up in Clark Range in Hall of Fame play.
I think it's been an asset in every game so far. Sometimes we can go 11 deep. Most of the time we're about 9. Sometimes 10, but with the style of defense that we like to play and the aggressiveness we want to get after it with, it's really important to have those kids. And sometimes the second group of kids that we come in are more effective than the first group of kids that play, and sometimes it's the other way around. So it's really a blessing to have that many. It's just the thing on the coach is to try to figure out which kids to have in there at which time. And sometimes you don't know that before the game because you don't know what kind of game the kids are going to have. They're still just high school girls, and they have a bad game every now and then. But you've got to recognize when that kid's having that good game, just leave them on the floor as much as you can. But definitely a blessing. I'm sure that makes us a little bit harder to scout as well. So it helps us in a lot of ways.
Coach, this is Stacey Angel. Looking at your schedule, I noticed that you just really played a really what I would call a tough non-district schedule. Seems like Livingston is will play anyone, anytime, anywhere. What's your mindset on doing that in terms of getting ready? We know that 7 AAA is just a tough district.
Well, 7 AAA, and just like 8 AA was, back when we were in that, I feel like it's the best district in the state in our division, 7 AAA. And what we try to do early is play as many different styles of teams as we can, whether we're going to Nashville and, playing a team that likes to spread you out five out, or we're going over to Knoxville and playing teams that like to press you to death or something like that. We try to play as many styles as we can so we can find all those weaknesses. Sometimes you play, just people around this area and everybody kind of plays similarly, and you don't see some of those glaring weaknesses. And so we try to go to different tournaments and try to play the better teams. And we don't really care about wins and losses outside the district. So we just try to find what we need to work on. And sometimes when you're winning those games, it's hard to convince the kids, honestly, that, that really is something we need to work on. And sometimes it takes a loss, and you need to find those teams that are going to beat you sometimes early in the season.
Coach, when you look at the schedule that you play each year, you've been down a few years, but still you continue to play the tough people. And I think, that does nothing but make you better because, and I don't mean to throw off against other teams, but a lot of teams, if they don't have that great record, will schedule poor competition in order to try to get those wins up. But it's like you said there a minute ago, it's like you are worried about the end product, and that's down the road when you get to tournament play and being tested and seeing those different styles, no doubt makes Livingston go as far as they can go.
Right. I know we had 2 really bad years, losing seasons, but we were still in the same district, and that's the kind of people that we had to compete with. And if you're not striving to get better, it's not about just wins and losses. And I don't think our kids believe that. I don't think our community believes that. It's about what you can do when it comes tournament time, and what you can do against the teams that everybody knows. I mean, if you're not competing with Smith County and DeKalb County and Upperman and those people, then no one really is paying any attention to what you're doing if you're beating the weaker teams. And I also believed, we were playing a lot of young kids back when we were, winning 9 games a season or whatever. And I believed that we could get out of that and we could, continue to improve. But the only way we could do that was by continuing to play the tough teams and like I said before, continuing to find those weaknesses, those glaring weaknesses, and trying to improve on those things.
Coach, when you look at this year's team, I think there's about 4 seniors that you've got on this club, and of course, you got a standout player there, Aaliyah Melton, whose dad was a pretty good player for Livingston back in the day, Richard. But when you look at your team, I think the thing that jumped out at me the most was how hard each player played on both ends of the floor. You don't always get that on the defensive end, and I feel like that your squad does that.
And I'd like to give that credit to this senior group because, back when Allie Qualls and Keaton Webb, those are 2 kids that have started now for 4 years, when they were freshmen and they were starting and they were tiny little 9th graders playing in the 8AA, they knew that the only chance they had was to defend people. And those 2 have motors that do not quit, and they'll fight. It doesn't matter if it's a sumo wrestler out there. They'll fight. It doesn't matter if they're down 40 or up 20, and they have just set that precedent. I mean, of course, that's what we coaches expect, but the kids have to buy into it, and those 2 have done it and done it and done it, and now it's kind of expected, and I think they hold each other accountable at this point. And like you said earlier, the depth allows us to continue to play with that intensity defensively. Sometimes we're not the most talented offensive team, obviously, and haven't been in the last few years, but being able to hold people down was the only way we could stay in some games. We talked about in the last couple of years, we talked about playing Tom Brady defense. You don't want Tom Brady on the field, so you make them, you keep the offense going and you make them play and play and play and play before they can get a shot off. And that's been one of the strategies that's really helped us, and they've seen success through that. So they really buy in, and I've heard that compliment a lot, and that means a lot to me because that's all about those kids and their mindset about defense.
Coach, of course, knowing that 7 AAA is just, like you said, probably the best girls district in that division in the state. As we go into the meat of the schedule now, there'll be ups and downs, and of course, trying to position yourself for a tournament run, as is everyone else. What are some things you do to kind of keep your players level through, especially these next 4 to 5 weeks, as you have a tough schedule ahead of you?
That's a tough question. I think most of the time in our district, we don't have to try to keep them focused because they understand. I mean, they've been the team that's trying to upset the teams that are ranked higher and seeded higher and all that. So they understand that somebody's gunning for us all the time. And I think they understand the situation. They understand, you don't want to go into the tournament in a lower seed, put yourself in a bad situation, because we've done it. But I think, as far as practice is concerned, we've done a lot. We've been able to work a lot on skills and maybe talk a little bit less about the opponent and not overwhelm them, because it is like such a long season. We will talk more and more about the opponent as the season goes along, but I think at this point there's been a big focus on us and what, like I said before, what our weaknesses are shown by these other teams, and that keeps it from being so mentally draining, I think. So that's really helped us a little bit with, just focus on one kid, that one skill that kid needs to improve, and then, as the season goes along, we'll talk a little bit more about DeKalb County and a little bit more about Stone Memorial, and then by the end and by the tournament time, they'll know enough, and they'll know everything they need to know about those teams. But bombarding them with everything up front, I think it's too draining.
Coach, when you look at the district you were in, which was District 8AA, and going against Macon County and Upperman in an 8-team district, that makes forged by fire, I guess is the word I'm looking for, because when you play those teams that battle for state championships every year and took home some gold balls, that has to make you a better team playing against that type of competition. And then you think, well, I'm going to a new district, it may get a little bit easier, but it seems like when you look at this year and the teams that you play in your district, in a 7-team district, still a lot of tough teams there.
Yeah, I definitely don't think it got any easier. I'm not sure it got more difficult. Obviously, White County is a very good team, and Stone and Cumberland, they are, but we didn't lose any bad teams from 8AA to 7 AAA. It's a great district to a great district, and to know that those state champions are coming out, I think people in general, in whatever job you do, whatever position you're in, whatever sport you're playing, I think people will step up to the expectations most of the time. And I think if you're continuing to play those teams like that and you want to be, successful, you'll step up to the expectations. Well, if the expectation is I'm going to lose to these teams all the time, then you're going to lose. But I think the expectation at Livingston Academy, long before I started coaching there, was that you've got to get yourself to Murfreesboro. And honestly, when Macon County won the state championship last year, our girls finally believed that they had made some steps forward, because we had beaten Macon County at our place last year and had lost at their place by single digits. And I'd been trying to tell them all season, guys, we're getting there. But they didn't believe me. They needed to see that happen. And I think that confidence has carried over into this season. So I think, playing those people, it's a gauntlet all year long. And, you're going to lose some games and you're going to get worn out and you're going to get down. But I think in the long run, it's gonna really help them in tournament time and honestly, whatever they do, after high school.
Well, Lesley, we appreciate you visiting with us, and best of luck to Livingston. I know that you're ready to, the exciting part to me is the district schedule and then the postseason, because people remember what you did in postseason a whole lot more than they remember what you did in the regular season.
They do, and it's the most fun part of the whole thing, just the exhausting nights of the film work and the scouting and all that. That's an exciting time, and I think the kids enjoy that part the most as well.
Well, Coach, best of luck.
Thank you, sir.
We've been visiting with Livingston Academy head coach Lesley Smith Riddle. A lot of tradition there, Stacey, at Livingston, and they're expected to win every year. Well,
they have a tradition, even from when Coach Riddle was a player all the way up through now. The expectation is state tournament here.
And we'll have more as we remind you, you're watching the Box Score.
If you're a commercial driver looking for a company to call home, Huff and Puff Trucking is the company for you. Our employees are professional and dedicated individuals that take pride in what they do. We offer an outstanding pay package with a dispatch structure that maximizes your home time. To learn more about a company that knows you by name and treats you like family, call us at 1-800-965-5033 or visit our website at huffpufftrucking.com.
What is UC EMC Strong? It's local people. It's local power. Delivering safe, reliable electricity to homes and businesses in the Upper Cumberland is our mission. Getting you back in the game with no time out is our goal. It's been a tough season. Our community has met many challenges, but we're emerging stronger than ever because we're on your team. Upper Cumberland Electric Membership Corporation. We're in this together.
What is your emergency?
I think I'm being robbed.
Sir?
These big home security guys want way too much money from me.
Let's connect you to a local company right away.
It's a crime what big national companies charge for home security.
For just $49.99, get a system with a touch keypad, 3 window or door sensors, motion detector, key fob, and standard installation.
Help is on the way, sir.
Oh, thank you.
Switch now and save. Call or visit DTC Security online today.
How do you know you're in a community, not just a town? Well, strangers smile as they walk by. They refill your coffee without you asking. And when you ask directions, people offer to walk you there. Communities give more. The way you know when you walk into First Bank that you are in a real community bank. Great products, direct access to your local bankers, and relationships that can last a lifetime. Don't just have an account. Have a community with First Bank. Member FDIC.
Near Star Middle Tennessee Mines in Gordonsville is hiring. We have open positions for maintenance technicians, maintenance trainer, electricians, entry-level miners, mill operators, mill technicians, infill drillers, and other amazing opportunities. We offer competitive wages, excellent benefits, PTO, holiday pay, exceptional 401k, and much more. Make the most of your future and your career. Join the excellent team at Near Star Middle Tennessee Mines in Gordonsville.
Liberty State Bank's debit MasterCards are now available with the names and mascots of our local schools printed right on the front of your card. With every non-PIN transaction, Liberty State Bank will donate 5 cents to the school system on your card. It's easy to show your school spirit and raise some extra money for your school at the same time. Show your school pride. Liberty State Bank, a branch of Citizens Bank of Lafayette. Equal housing lender, member FDIC.
And welcome back to the Box Score. Terry Collins and Stacey Angel. This is our final segment as we're going to look at the upcoming games. A lot of games that are going to be very meaningful, Stacey, in the district race.
It's really heating up.
Looking at District 7A, the upcoming game for Red Bowling Springs at Clark Range. Of course, that boys game is going to, the winner of that, going to keep the other one out of the cellar and get into that top 4 slots, and that's what you want to be. To try to make it to region play.
Right, that's a big game. When we look at it, maybe 2 teams that have struggled, but a big game to those boys programs.
Of course, Clay County coming to Gordonsville, and that's on Friday night. If you don't have anything else to do, go out and watch Grant Strong. I promise you, he won't disappoint you.
For sure.
Watertown at Clark Range on Friday night. Other games, and most of these are going to be district affairs, of course, to say that. And then Cumberland County's at Clark Range, but Pickett at Red Bowling, a district game, and then Pickett at Clay, a big game, especially on the girls and boys side. Stacey, being in Salina next Tuesday night wouldn't be a bad place to be.
I would say that will be a packed house.
Jackson County at Red Bowling as well. Let's look at the upcoming games out of District 6AA. Of course, this Friday night, Westmoreland at Smith County. Of course, that girls game will be a battle for maybe supremacy at the top of the district.
Well, it is right now at this moment. Anxious to see how Smith County fares there. Feel like the boys contest maybe could be a good one also with Westmoreland coming off of a big win at Trousdale County.
Cannon County at Watertown. That'll be a game that Monica Braswell and I will have for DTC Sports on Friday night. Of course, that's gotten to be a pretty big rivalry down through the years. Of course, last year they were in the same district, and then they're in the same district again. It's just a different district, not 8AA, it's now 6AA. Let's go ahead and look at some more upcoming games. On Monday, Smith County at Jackson County. Of course, Jackson County girls did not play Monterey last night due to COVID. Hopefully everything will be settled down, and The Owls and Lady Owls can both play in Gainesboro on Monday night, Cannon County at Whitwell, then Macon County at Smith County on Tuesday night. A rivalry renewed. Of course, that was a district game a year ago. No longer is, but still, Stacey, that's for a lot of bragging rights.
It is, and a game that needs to be played. Glad that they kept that on the schedule, and really needs to be played in all sports.
Looking at other games, Community at Watertown, and then Greenbrier at Westmoreland. Let's go ahead and look at some more upcoming games in District 7 AAA. Of course, this is a girls' game only at Stone Memorial, traveling up to Knoxville to play CAK. Then on Friday night, DeKalb County at Cumberland County, Upperman at Livingston, White County at Macon County. And at least in that Upperman-Livingston game, that's a girls' game, Stacey, that a lot of people have been looking forward to.
Big game. I also think DeKalb and Cumberland County, boys and girls game, are both huge there. That's teams that really are in the middle of the pack, and each would like to get a win.
Let's go ahead and look at the upcoming game, or more upcoming games. Warren County at Stone Memorial, Van Buren County at White County, and Stacey, it's good to see them play. They've been neighbor rivals. I realize White County's the big school, Van Buren's a small school, but Van Buren usually puts a quality product on the floor.
They really have a lot of pride in their basketball program. Great to see that White County would go down and schedule them, with that being a AAA playing a single A, but should be a fun environment at Sparta on Saturday night.
Then next Monday night, you've got Macon County at DeKalb, and you got, of course, we said earlier, Smith and Jackson. A lot of people scrambling right now, just trying to get makeup dates in and get that, kind of finished, Stacey, and try to get back to playing 2 games a week. That's very hard to do.
Yeah, and you really can't put those off too long. If you do, and another snow comes, it starts piling everything up.
That is correct. Let's go ahead and look at some more upcoming games on Tuesday. Macon County at Smith County, Upperman at DeKalb County. Stacey and I will have that game up in Smithville. That'll be our DTC Sports game of the week. And that should be, that's always been a big rivalry, Stacey.
Oh, yes, it has, and I know on that boys' side, I'm sure Coach John Sanders seeing Upperman down a little bit, he'd like to get a win there at home.
White County play at Cumberland County, and then Stone Memorial will be playing at Livingston. And any time in that district, Stacey, when 2 teams battle, you just can't mark up a win in the column and say, hey, we're going to show up and win. You better come out and play.
Yeah, there's some outstanding coaches. I look at even Stone Memorial, Coach Mike Book up there, his team in the state tournament, just a year or so ago, and he does an outstanding job. They'll be ready, so every night is going to be a battle.
Let's go ahead and look at our DTC featured games. As we've got on Friday night, we've got Cannon County at Watertown. Monica and I will have that one for you. Replay dates, Tuesday, January the 18th at 7, Wednesday, January the 19th at 1, and then on Thursday and Saturday on the 20th and 22nd at 7 p.m. And just a reminder also, we'll have the County Elementary Tournament that we'll be doing on the 22nd that we'll have for that. We'll have more graphics next week for you for that. We've got Upperman at DeKalb next Tuesday night, and that'll be on January the 18th. Replay dates on Friday and Sunday, January 21st and January 23rd at 7 p.m., Monday, January 24th at 1 p.m., and then Tuesday, January the 25th at 7 p.m. Gives our viewers a great chance, Stacey, to see maybe even some games they wouldn't normally get to see.
Lots of positive feedback. I have several people in my community that watch those games, and like you say, games that maybe you couldn't attend, and able to go back and watch those. Just outstanding coverage.
And also, they get to go back and watch the box score, and we appreciate that.
Right.
We want to thank all our fine sponsors. For Justin Malden and for Stacey Angel, I'm Terry Collins. Good night from DTC.